Oh, you're on? Yeah. Morning. Hi. Thanks for joining us on our weekly Sylvia Findings Facebook live stream. We do this every Wednesday morning at 10:30 Pacific time. And you can extrapolate to wherever you are, all the way across the continents, across the world if you're watching this from somewhere else. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Um, If you're not familiar with us, why are you watching? If you're not familiar with us, but just in case, we're Canada's premier supplier of sterling silver and some gold now. We have some gold. Jewelry findings, pendants, rings, bulk chain, finished chains, which we're going to talk about today, sheet metal, wire, bales, clasps, jump rings, you name it, we have it. Beads, boy, tons of beads, caps, all those kind of things. Which you can see all of our stuff on our website, www.SilviaFindings.com. Um, and we do these live streams every Wednesday, mostly because we, miss our customers. We do so many shows, like 25 shows or something a year, something like that. I think it was a little more last year, but anyway, this year obviously because of the pandemic there have been no shows, so we thought we would figure out a way to bring Sylvia Findings to you wherever you are, sitting in your pajamas watching on your PC or your phone. If you're watching on your phone, I'm sorry, today we're going to be looking at a lot of very tiny things, so I don't know, maybe you can expand the screen when you need to. um, I'm going to talk a little bit before we get started with the chains, just about the state of shipping across, North America anyway, and into the rest of the world. U.S. Postal Service, again, um, beginning to find that some packages are being delayed in some parts of the country, not so much in other parts of the country. It seems weird. East Coast is getting kind of bad. Whereas a normal package from us to Virginia, say, or Maine, where else? Maryland. You're looking at usually, 5 or 6 days. Now we're looking more like 2 weeks. So uh, hard to say. How's it going? Canada Post is still as bad as it's ever been. I want to say it's getting better, and it is some days, some weeks it gets a little better, some weeks it gets a little bit worse. But still, if you're ordering stuff and we're just shipping it regular post, just beware that your shipping times are going to be long. The tracking software that, or the tracking system that Canada Post uses is pretty terrible. Actually, I don't think it's the tracking system so much as how they use it. I think, like, if you ship with FedEx or DHL or those kind of things, I mean, your package gets scanned every time it moves. If the driver moves it from one side of the truck to the other, they scan your package, and you can see that when you're tracking those things. And DHL is really awesome. You can see it literally when the driver picks up a package here. I can, say, okay, thanks, bye, have a nice day, and go to my computer and track it, and it'll say it's on the truck, it's been picked up. So they're really, really good. U.S. Postal Service is also pretty good. They scan it every time it gets to a new destination, or when it leaves the destination to go onto a truck to the next destination. It won't get scanned in between destinations, but at least you know that it's somewhere between X and Y. With Canada Post, it seems really spotty. They don't seem to scan every package. Sometimes I know we ship stuff to Ontario, say, for example, all the time. Just recently, just had a couple of orders into the Maritimes, so like right across the country. And the scanning or the tracking service will say, a label has been printed, we're awaiting the package, where it's been picked up like a week ago, and then you won't see any changes to the tracking information until it actually reaches the destination city. You know, I know we shipped something, just for example, we shipped something to Hamilton, and the package was picked up here, or not picked up here, but we dropped it off. And then there was nothing. It still said, you know, a label has been created. You know, we'll give you more information once we receive the package. And everybody was freaking out. We're freaking out. The customer's freaking out. Hey, where's our package? It's nowhere. You know, I think. And then all of a sudden, it, you know, pops up on the tracking that oh, the parcel's been picked up in Mississauga and is on its way to its destination. And then the next day, the person receives it. So if you're using the tracking service to gauge how long should I wait for my package, when is my package coming, maybe I'll stay home from work today. If you do go to work, um, don't, because it'll just show up when it shows up. Luckily, we haven't lost anything, which is nice. We haven't lost anything in a while. So that's good. If you are, you know, really, if there's something really important, you're getting something for a gift, or you're getting something that you need for a project that you need right now, I'm going to recommend using, you know, an expedited service like DHL or something. You know, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it if you want to actually have your things really quickly and guarantee that you get it. What else? I think that's just about all the housekeeping. I have heard that there's potentially going to be a show coming up in Calgary next month. Um, all indications are that it's going. I don't know how it's going to go or what, but if you're in that area, and I think you can look on the website. I think we have that information up there. Uh, I feel bad because I haven't looked to see if we have it on our calendar there, but we might be in Calgary next month at a show, first show in the pandemic age. We'll see how that goes. I'm of two minds. Anyway, so finished chains. We have a ton of finished chains, and again, I'm not going to show you every one. Nelson has just graciously pulled samples of about a good cross section of representative samples. There might be one or two others that are up on the boards that I'm going to show you because they're not in these samples, and I absolutely want them. I want you to see them. There's a couple of there's a big Rolo chain that I love. But neither here nor there. All of our chains obviously are sterling silver, rhodium plated. I think these finished chains.
Not often.
Not all of them.
Slate chain rhodium plated.
Oh, the snake chains are rhodium plated. The rest are not.
Yeah.
The
rest of silver plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, silver plus silver plate.
So that's why when you see us at shows and you see that some of the chains are tarnished, is because, you know, people, you know, feel them up all the time, and we don't keep them in airtight bags in between. Probably should. And we don't polish them as often as we should. But anyway, neither here nor there. Chain obviously comes in a bunch of different subcategories, a bunch of different styles. If it's just links, you know, oval links one after the other, and those links are just regular round links, if you were to cut them apart, they would sit flat on the ground, right? They're not twisted or anything like that. That's just called a cable chain. And they don't have to be oval, they can also be round, and you still call it a cable chain. I'm going to show you a couple of cable chains, and I'm just gonna maybe pull out a big one first so we can see how this. Here's a nice big, right? You can see that, right? Nice big fat, well, not that fat. The links are nice, big. They're square wire links, so you get a little bit more shiny, a little bit more flash with these. But this is just a regular standard cable chain, right? Kind of the classic cable chain, real sturdy, really gorgeous. All of them come with a clasp, obviously, right? See if I can get this a little closer. There, that's a little better. This chain is code number is SF1257 and is available in 18, 20, 22, and 24-inch lengths. And just for example, the retail price of the 18-inch length is $59.76, and the wholesale price is $33.20. And these are new prices,
Yep.
so don't have to try to convert that in your head. That's great. There's another one that's almost identical, only the chain is much thinner. The other one that I showed you is like 2.7 millimeters was the diameter of that. This one is only 0.8 millimeters. Real nice, delicate but sturdy chain. Can't go wrong. It's kind of like the classic, chain. I love this. The flat edges. I don't know if you could see in the camera, but the flat edges give it a little more flash, in certain angles. So it's a little more sparkly than some other chains might be. That's cool. And these chains, obviously, these are all the links are all individually soldered. Here is another cable chain that has real wide links, but they're flat, right? So this is like made with strip metal, I guess, kind of like flat wire, pulled around. The edges are slightly rounded, so it's not like a sharp chain or anything. But again, this is good, big links, big solid links, but not incredibly heavy. This SF 1261 is the SKU for this, and then of course 18, 20, 22, and 24-inch. I guess the thickness, the width of these links are 2.5 millimeters, 2.56 millimeters wide. Yeah, good open classic thing. This chain would be great to dangle things from. Gives a lot of room there to get in there with your things. Cable chains. A couple more cable chains to show you. This is just right, nice, really tiny. These are round links, right? But just again another classic, cable chain. This one SF 1285 and 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch are the sizes we have this one available in. And just for example, the 16-inch is $12.11, and the wholesale price $8.08 for this thing. And then going up from there, depending on the length of the chain, right? Sorry, I don't want to lose any of these. Do that one first, or this one? Here's another great it's a cable chain, right, where it's just a regular oval links, but the links are flattened, right? I don't know if you can see that, how the light travels along that as it's twisting. Really nice, really gorgeous. And because the links are flattened, it gives the chain a little bit of a bigger appearance and makes it look like it's a little bit wider. It is that wide, but it makes it look chunkier than it would be. So it's not that heavy of a piece. This one, SF 1270, available in 18, 20, and 22-inch pieces lengths. I think I'll just a 3 millimeter link on that. Now, if you take those basic, kind of cable chains when you're constructing them. And the cable chain is basically just a link and another link and another link and another, just links and links. But if you alternate that, like if you, as you're stringing it together, if you've got like 3 links and then the 4th link that you put on, you connect it between the 1st and the 3rd link. And then the 5th link that you put on, if you connect it between the 2nd and the 4th link, and et cetera, you have more, and it'll make sense when you see what I'm talking about. But you can have these compound cable chains, right? That are just super interesting. And I remember I was teaching a whole range of chainmail and chain making classes, and this one, I think he was called Jens Pinned, is the kind of link this is. It's super tricky to do if you're if you're just linking oval links together, but it's really gorgeous. And the beauty of this kind of thing is you don't have to make the chain because it's already made for you. SF1283 available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. And again, the 16-inch lengths, just for example, $11.30 is a retail price, and $6.78 is a wholesale price on that. And again, they're just great, nice solid chain. Really interesting. Personally, I think that's more interesting than like a Byzantine chain, which you see a lot of people kind of go gaga over. But I don't know why. There are a couple of other variations on that compound cable chain, right, where you have like multiple links, going through each other, and they look, I don't know, almost ropey. Although this is not a rope chain. I'll get there. I don't want to spoil it. Spoiler, right? These are, just the way that the links go together. As long as you do it correctly, they end up giving the final chain kind of like a spiral pattern. As you're looking through it, and if you can see it, you can say, "Oh, it looks like it's kind of moving on the screen." Oh, very cool. I love that. That SF1258 available in 16, 18, 20, or 22-inch lengths. The 16-inch lengths are $16.53. Am I interested in stone? You're a stone seller, wholesale, agate, and thing. Nice to meet you too. Yes. Well, we're not really. I don't think. I think Marble will pick that up maybe in a private message. But just for the record, we don't sell stones. Only silver and gold. I guess the better comeback would be: are you interested in some sterling silver for your stones? We have lots of silver to settings for your stones. Here's another. I missed this one before. This is the same idea as that the big oval links here. Is this person on your thing, or is that separate?
Which one?
Are you getting this thing? There's a person here asking about stones. If we want to buy stones, do you have that in the chat?
No, not yet.
Oh, so okay. I get it confused. I'm doing this live stream looking at Marble's phone, which is I think. Why am I frozen? Oh, am I frozen? Oh no, technical difficulties. I'm yeah, that is frozen.
Not working?
It's not working. Am I moving on the on the thing, or am I frozen?
Frozen.
I'm frozen. Is the audio getting through? Am I still apologies for the technical difficulties, folks, if you can still hear me.
Frozen. Okay, so I end it.
We're good? We're on again?
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. This is a new stream? This is a new video? New stream?
What do you mean new?
Like it's a new post? A new post? It's not the same stream?
Yeah, this is the second. Yeah, new live stream. Yeah.
So, before we go back into the chains, I'll just give everybody a few minutes to find the new stream. Sorry, uh, one of the phones just stopped working, just seized up, and unfortunately, it's running the studio software that we use here to alternate between the different cameras. Uh, so, but we're back. Couple of perks about this thing before I go back into the chains. Obviously, if you share this video, um, the unfrozen version, we'll send you one of these polishing cloths here. I guess we know who shares the video, and then we'll get a hold of you, get your address, send you one of those beautiful polishing cloths. If you've never used one of um, these are just a beautiful little green chamois material with probably fabulously bad chemicals. Uh, and the chemical that's infused in the cloth has a anti-tarnish agent or detarnish agent. It's just a chemical that unbinds the copper and the oxygen and allows the pieces to become clean, because that's what tarnish is, right? Tarnish on your sterling silver is cupric oxide. It's a copper and oxygen binding together. That gets ugly. Gets tarnished, and you can just wipe that off. If it gets really bad, you can always, pickle it, throw it in pickle, and polish it. Uh, Not like pickles, like actual pickles in a pickle jar, that you eat, like pickled cucumbers, those kind of things. Not that kind of pickle. Um, jeweler's pickle is just a word that jewelers use for it's an acid, usually uh, hydrofluoric acid is kind of the most common one for pickle. Um, and I can't remember off the top of me the chemical. It's the stuff that they use in pools. The white granules that you use. Use a cup for a huge giant pool, and you can mix that up with water, and it releases an acid. And I can't remember the name of it because neither here nor there. Anyway, that's pickle. Um, if you order anything during the live stream, um, you get 10% discount.
Yeah, but
10%
not
off.
applicable to the wholesale.
Right. 10% does not apply. Obviously, if you are purchasing a wholesale, you're already getting that wholesale discount, and we don't stack discounts. So if there's a 10% discount off the retail price, but if you're ordering wholesale, that 10% discount obviously doesn't apply. Also, we offer free shipping for anything that you buy on the thing. Free regular mail shipping. I know there's been some confusion about, I think we use the word letter mail, which is just the Canada Post classification for anything that's just regularly that you put postage on it, whether it's a stamp or a label that they print at the post office or whatever. It's that's that thing. Yes, so free shipping on orders placed during the event. Free regular mail. That's just with postage. That doesn't include tracking or signature service or insurance or any of that stuff. So, which is fine, I guess, if you're ordering, one or two things. That's not very much money. But if you're ordering, something of value, I always recommend tracking it anyway. So, um, we do those, I guess, a new perk, I guess, is a 10% discount for all members' orders placed during the events from related social media groups and Bead Club Society. So if you're in one of the many jewelry related groups or lapidary groups on Facebook, just let us know that you found us from there, and we'll give you 10% discount on on your order. Also, if you're a member of a lapidary club or a metal guild somewhere in the country, just let us know what club you're a member of, and we'll get your discount. And I already talked about the free gift. So let me go back into the chains. Everything. I think I covered everything right about the shipping and everything. Just so we're clear about the free shipping is regular mail,
Regular parcel mail.
regular parcel mail or letter mail. Which if you put it in a padded envelope, they call it letter mail. So if it's in a little parcel, obviously it's regular parcel mail, but it's all the same classification. It's just the mail that you put the postage on. And we say a stamp, but it could be a stamp like a postage stamp or a stamp that they print at the post office where they make a label or something. Anyway, it's not important to get into the minutia of the Canada Post classifications, but there it is. Free regular shipping, regular mail shipping. Uh, uh, okay, we were doing cable chains, which I went through them all. I just want to show you one more that's not strictly a cable chain, but it's made the same way. Technically it's a Figaro chain, and Figaro is just there's so many different variations on Figaro chain, but I'm partial to this one. I love this one. I think this is favorite, right? So the three small links separated by one big one is the classic Figaro configuration. The big links are diamonds, diamond shape, right? Or biconvex, I guess, is the technically accurate way to describe it. And then just the three little round loops. And I think that's one of my favorite standard, chains. SF1256, available in 18, 20, 22, and 24. That's new. We didn't have this in 24-inch before. So I guess that's good. I know a lot of people ask us for longer chains. The retail price of the 18 inches, obviously $32.03, and the wholesale price is $20.01. I didn't talk about the difference between the retail and wholesale price. So let me just explain that in case you're unfamiliar. The regular price, if you just log into the website, you've never been there before, or you've been there a bunch of times, but you haven't registered for wholesale credentials, is just a retail price, a regular price, the price that we have, that's the price that we sell to you. If you walk in off the street, you say, hey, let me buy that, that's the price. We have a wholesale price that requires a minimum purchase of $150 at the wholesale level. So I know it's weird sometimes. We'll be ringing somebody up and their order it'll come to like $167.53, and it's still at the retail price because that $150 or $160 is at the retail level. But if those products were to be purchased at the wholesale level, they might only reach $120 or something like that. So, that's how that works. And that's actually kind of a fun position to be in, because it's almost as though you get more stuff for less money. So just beware of that. If you're putting stuff in your shopping cart and you're getting up around $170 retail or something, you should try to log in to think. Oh, and just another question I get quite a bit: how do you register for wholesale? On the website, there's the menu bar that has all the blah blah blah. Two of the items are highlighted in gold. One of them is the DIY jewelry for all the custom, custom made products and stuff, which I'm not going to talk about this time because I talk about it every time. But it's awesome. You should check it out. And the other one is for wholesale. It just says wholesale. And then when you click on that as an option for wholesale login, you click on that. And then if it's there's a link, it'll say not already registered. Click here for whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you click that, a form pops up, you fill out the form, you submit it to us, within however long it takes us to do it. It doesn't take long. Usually it's within a couple hours at the most. We'll verify the information and send you your wholesale credentials. Then when you log into the website with your new password, you'll be brought to a mirror site, which is basically the same site, only all the prices are the wholesale prices. I don't know, it's where you have to log in with those actual credentials, and people lose them all the time. So we reset them. Uh, and then all the prices that you see will be the wholesale prices. But as you're filling your shopping cart, you won't be able to log out until you reach $150 at the wholesale price. So that's that. But if you see us at shows, both prices are listed on all of the products anyway, or in the showroom if you come to the showroom. Which we're getting a lot more visitors, which is nice. A lot more people venturing out into the real world. Although right now it's so smoky out, thinking. I know we're not as bad as they're having it in Washington State and Oregon and especially California. My daughter and my son live in near Seattle, and boy, the pictures they send me are just horrific. Like you can't even see across the street; it's so smoky. But anyway, neither here nor there. We've got a little bit, but not so bad in Vancouver. Um, I have no idea what point I was trying to make, but let's move on. Um, if you take those curb chains, those the cable chains, and you twist the links, right? So you take just the regular things and you twist them, you'll get what's called a curb chain. And here's a good sample of that, right? This one, it's just the regular round oval links, right? Only they've been twisted so that they line up flat next to each other. This one is actually one step further. It's actually been flattened, maybe put through a rolling mill or something. So the links line up nice and flat right next to each other. This is a flat curb chain. This is really nice because it's pretty wide. Not super thick though, so it doesn't feel heavy, and it also doesn't get weighed down, and the price isn't affected too badly. This SF1272 available in 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths, from 24.33 up at the retail level, and 15.20 up at the wholesale price. So using that technique, right, of taking the links of a regular cable chain and twisting them, you can get some pretty cool effects. And here's one where it's that same kind of Jen's pinned link, right, where the you'll have three links in a row, and then the fourth link that you put on connects the first and the third, and then the fifth link connects the second and the fourth, and then the sixth one connects the third and the fifth, and you keep going that way, and you get this kind of spiral effect where the links are not one after the other. They're very cool. So this is actually further enhanced by being twisted, right, in that kind of a curb chain effect. So when you take that Jen's pin and you twist it into a curb, you get that sort of very cool effect. SF1242, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths, from 968 retail, 648 wholesale, and then going up depending on the length of those things. Okay, I'm going to try to not be so slow in between. Here is another one, kind of very classic curb chain, although this is, really tiny, tiny. Right, so it's the same thing, same idea, curb chain, the oval links that are twisted, so they lay flat with each other. This hasn't been put through a draw plate like that other bigger one was, but every, I don't know, what is that, 7 or 8 links, one of the links is flattened to give you that sort of sectional look. That thing, very cool, very trendy. This SF1262 is the code for that one, available in 16, 18, and 22, or 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. Again, retail price from $10.80, going on up. I've got one more curb chain to show you. I think there was one other on the board I wanted to show you, but this is just a nice little classic tiny curb chain. Oh, the links are tangled up from being in the bag. Right? I don't know if you can see that, but nice tightly woven links. Um, very small, and this is that, but it's linked together the same way with that Gens pinned concept, you know, where the first and third links are connected, and then the second and fourth links are connected, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, so it looks more solid, almost like a rope chain, but not. Anyway, that one is SF1279, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. Which, if you ever at shows and you see these, right, you know, we'll have those tags with all the price tags on them. The last two numbers here, SF1279 is the code number, and the last two digits are the length. So this is available 16, 18, 20, 22-inch lengths, and the prices accordingly. Now, if you take one of those uh, compound cable chain, like that, you know, Gens pinned, or those things where you have the link, and then the third link, and then the fourth link connects first, third, you know, whatever that I was talking about before. If you take that kind of a chain, especially one where there's not a lot of room between the links. I mean, obviously there's enough room that it's supple and everything, but not a whole lot of room between the length. And then you pull it through a draw plate, and a draw plate is just, you know, you must have seen them. It's just a piece of steel with a bunch of different sized holes in them, and you can get them round ones or square ones or, you know, whatever. And you can use the draw wire if you make your own wire. If you're one of those crazy people who still do that. There are people who do it, and I've done it just to say that I've done it, but you know, it's always easier just to buy wire. But anyway, neither here nor there. If you take that kind of chain and you pull it through a draw plate to the point where those links compress into almost a solid piece, then you get what's called a rope chain, like this. This you probably can't see. But this is that same kind of chain that has been pulled through a draw plate so that the links are very tightly woven. It's still very supple, right? So it still, you know, lays nicely, but it's a little more solid, right? Nice, you know, solid chain. And that S available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. And the retail price is 23.04, wholesale price 16.14, and up from there. Um, um, and I don't know if you've noticed, but kind of trying to extrapolate from one thing going on from one to the next, how one has a, you know, a cable chain way more interesting, but they're all basically the same thing, links and links and links. Here's a little bit tinier version of that previous one. This SF 1275/16. It's only 0.8 millimeters wide, that link. Available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. And the prices, I think you can see those prices listed there. Um, Here's another one. I'm not going to pull this out because it's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit thicker, 1.3 millimeters. SF1266. This one is only available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. Here's one which I think is probably the best realized version of that, you know, kind of thing, right? It's almost, it's not quite a snake chain, right? Because, which I'll talk about later. Um, but it almost feels like it. It's almost solid, you know. But you know, there's still, you know, space between the links, so the chain is very supple, very movable. But it's almost like a solid, you know, cable with a very cool texture in it. This, I don't, it's just a classic, perfect chain for God, anything, pendants, you name it. because it's super solid, and it looks solid, so even a bigger pendant works, but it's thin enough and potentially dainty enough that even a smaller pendant will work. So I don't know, you can't go wrong with that. You should get one of these in every size. Which is available in SF 1282, 16 inch, 18 inch, 20 and 22 inch, um, uh, of that pulling that compound curb chain through a draw plate and getting that very cool effect um, of a. I don't know. Here's another one that's almost exactly the same as this, only these links were maybe a little bit longer links. Um, and then when they pull through again, this is a little less supple than the other ones, um, but I don't know if you could see from the thing, it's almost completely solid, right? Um, and this I think was just a straight up cable chain. It's not one of those compound cable chains, just a regular straight up cable chain pulled through a draw plate to a diameter of 0.8 millimeters. That's how thick that is. And similar to the last one I just showed you, just perfect for pendants um, of any size, really. SF017, available in 16, 18, and 22 or 20 inch lengths. Um, and I only have one more rope chain that I pulled out to show you, and I don't think. I feel like there's a big one that I'm missing. Oh no, I showed you that one. Okay, never mind. Uh, Right. And this is definitely one of those compound curb chains that have been pulled through a draw plate. These ropes, they're, it just looks like a solid, although it's not a rope chain. Or no, it is a rope chain. It is a rope chain. That's why they call it a rope chain. But it's solid, and I don't want to use the word cable because cable is specifically, reserved for, individual links. But it's almost like a solid, piece of metal, nice and supple. This is, more supple than the last one I showed you. SF 1249, available in 16, 18, and 20 inch lengths. I see Nelson put those price tags in the wrong direction, probably trying to screw me up on purpose, which we like. I got your number. Now, another variation on that concept, right, of taking like a compound curb chain and pulling through a draw plate to the point where the links compress into those uh, ropes. I was going to say cable again, but it's not cable chain. Uh, if you made your links, and it's not really the same idea as the compound cable chain, but similar concept. But you made the links out of instead of round wire, if you made them out of flat wire, and then you pulled those through a draw plate um, to the point where they're very, very fine gaps between them, you get what's called a snake chain. Right? I don't know if you can see this, right? So it's these chains are not very supple, so you can't really bend them nice sharp angles because they'll kink. Um, but they're very smooth. Um, I don't know. They're kind of they feel great. They're awesome. We've got a couple different styles of these finished. This one is a kind of a flat one. SF1203, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch versions, 1.5 millimeters. I'm just looking at that's probably the width of that link. I think 1.5 millimeters. I don't know. It looks like a little bit wider than that to me, but maybe that's the thickness. Um, Here's like the classic snake chain, right? So this is a round chain. uh, there's a texture there, but there's almost no gap between the links, right? It almost like a solid piece, and it you know, moves like a snake. And nice and smooth. Um, very cool, very gorgeous. Uh, Classic snake chain. This is available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. 1.2 millimeter is the thickness of that snake, of that chain. Classic. Snake chains are another ones that are really good for, you know, pendants, because um, they're just they don't take away from the pendant. You know, it's just like you know, here's a pendant that's on a chain. You know, it's not like, oh, hey, look at that cool chain you got there. Although there's something to be said for that. This is a similar thing. It's another, you know, kind of classic chain. Although every I don't know what that is, 6 or 8 millimeters or so. There's a section that's been sort of textured, flattened, so you can't really see it in the camera very well, but it's almost like it's a sectioned snake, just to give it a little, you know, more interesting texture. It's only 0.8 millimeters thick. This one, SF1204, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. Um, the snake chains are the only chains that we store flat, or you know, completely extended. All of our other chains, they're in you know, they're in bags, and they can be smaller than the thing. These ones, you know, we have them in long bags, so they don't get kinked. This is a square. I don't know if you can see that through that camera. I'm kind of twisting it a bit. This is a square chain, square snake. SF1291, available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. And the retail price $22.10, going up from there, and the wholesale price $13.26 and up. Um, and there's a couple others too. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. This is another, just a regular old round one, a little bit thinner than the bigger one I was showing you before. SF1281. 0.8 millimeters is the cable. I'm not sure what that 1 centimeter is. Maybe the loop for the clasp. SF1281, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths. Is that one. And here's another square one, a little bit smaller, a little bit tinier version than that. Nice and delicate. You know, the edges are not sharp or anything, so you don't have to worry about them catching on stuff. SF1274-16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths available, from $15.94 up is the retail price, and only $9.96 up is the wholesale price. It's killer. Great. Okay, that's all that I'm gonna show. Oh, there's one more. I have to show this to you. I know that's not, but I just love this. It's a big Rolo chain. Well, it's not actually that big of a Rolo chain. It's only a 4 millimeter Rolo chain link. But I like this for big, heavy. You know, it didn't even have to be heavy. Just big pendants. It looks very, I don't know, not medieval, but it's like perfect, the kind of a thing you'd see at a Renaissance fair or something. Anyway, this SF1229, available in 18, 20, 22, and 24-inch lengths. I just love that. So anyway, neither here nor there. Nice big Rolo. Um, We've also got a couple of, not many, but a few ball chains. And ball chain is obviously what, it's like that. It's just a little ball with a link in between them or a piece of metal in between them. These balls are 1.2 millimeter, the little beads, and they're faceted. I don't know if you could see that from the camera, but they're not just plain round ball chain like you find at the hardware store or your bathroom. Um, Very cute. People ask us all the time for ball chains. And here's another one. It's exactly the same chain, only a little bit thinner. This is a 1 millimeter version of that same beautiful sparkly little thing. Did I say the price of the other one? That other one, that 1.2 millimeter, the bigger one is 1241. SF 1241 is the code, available in 16, 18, and 20 inch. And this smaller one, the 1 millimeter SF 1278, available in 16, 18, 20, and 22 inch lengths. And we have one other ball chain that's cool. It's almost like it's kind of like a faux Figaro ball chain, right? Where there's just the round dots, round balls, and then the ovals, in between them. It's a super interesting chain. I don't know. It presents not really as a ball chain, but just as some just really cool. I like that one. I think we've only got this one in 18-inch lengths. SF 1263. $28.90 is the retail price, and $21.85 is the wholesale price. And now we're going to get into some a little more complicated chains, and that's a smaller version. I know we have a big one, so I'm going to show you the big one first, so you can see better what it is. This one is called, I don't know, they call it a popcorn chain, where the individual links are intertwined with each other. They're almost like little beads with, boy, it's hard to describe. It's one of those things that you kind of have to see up close to understand how it's made. But the links are individual kind of pleated beads with gaps in between the pleats, and then the gaps in between the pleats are woven together with the previous one and the previous one and the next one and the next one and the next one, over and over, to give you that sort of nice big wide chain. But it's very airy, very open. And this one that I just showed you, SF 1264, is, I guess, only available in 24-inch lengths. 2.75 millimeters is the width of that one. I've got another smaller version of that, right? Which I wish you could see this a little more close up. I'll have to figure out some way to do good close-ups on these things. SF 1271, and this one is only available in 18 inches. And here's one where it's the same concept. The link is a little different though. I don't know if you can see that, the difference. It's just a little airier, a little more open, but nice and wide. Also available only in 18 inches. SF 1252. $20.13 is the retail price, and $14.31. Well, that's a really, really good price for a popcorn chain. Just because the way those are made is a lot more technically challenging, let's say, than just a regular old cable chain or something. Which I don't know if you've ever done, but if you want to go down a very cool rabbit hole, um, get onto YouTube and just look for chain making machines, and you'll see the machines that they use to make chains. They're like amazing. They've been doing it for 100 years. Making chains, and they haven't really changed that much. The basic concept is still it's a piece of wire that comes in, and the machine slams that piece of wire together into a shape, into a link. Oftentimes fusing the link closed, and then grabbing the link, turning it sideways, and the next one goes through. Next piece of wire comes through, slams it together, closes it up, fuses it together, opens it up, and a thing. And you could just watch chain being made. Ka-chunk, 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 literally. It's very cool. Uh, I had the good fortune to be at a company in Rhode Island that still makes chain. Years ago, like 20 years ago, and I got to see all the machines working. Ka-chung, 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 with they just had little baskets, wicker baskets underneath, with all the chain spooling out into it. It was very cool. Loud though, but anyway, neither here nor there. This is, and I've just got a couple more chains to show you, and then we'll just call it a day. It's kind of a bar chain. The individual bar links are, it's a bar twisted so that the links opposite each other are perpendicular to each other, right? So it's just a flat bar with a texture in there, and then the bar is connected to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So that bar chain, SF 1245, available only in 18-inch lengths, and retail price is $24.25. You don't see a lot of that bar chain out there around, and I don't know why, because it's very cool, very interesting, very fashion forward. I hate using that word. I'm going to get in trouble for using that word. But it is. Here's another one, right, where the individual links are, it's just a bar with flattened on one side and flattened on the perpendicular edge. The holes are perpendicular to each other and just linked together. It's kind of a simple chain, but it's just so interesting, and not the kind of thing you see everywhere. So if you're looking for something that's kind of unique, these are them. SF 1246, available in 16, 18, and 20-inch lengths. Prices from $9.69 and up, and the wholesale $6.06. $6, man, that's a price. Heck of a price. Can't go wrong. And then it's not the last chain. It's the last chain that I have prepared, but there are no. This is the last chain I'm going to show you. There are one or two others from the boards that I wanted to show you, but we're already too long. We're going way too long. So this is another bar link, bar chain that I just love. Right. So each individual link is it almost looks like ovals, but they're not oval. They're flat. It's just hammered on one direction and then hammered flat in the other direction, and just linked together. Right. So the holes are perpendicular to each other on each individual link, strung together. And that's a particularly beautiful one. It's because it's a nice small link. The links are kind of tiny. SF 1260. Available in 16, 18, 20, and 22-inch lengths from $12.61 retail price, and going up from there, and $8.75 is the wholesale price, and up from there depending on the length of that thing. So yeah, those are all the chains that I had prepared, and golly, I know that I shouldn't be doing this because I'm just going to end up going long, but here's another bar chain that I didn't show you, right? The bars are, the links in between are twisted, right? That one, SF 1244, I think is only available in 18. And there's only one other chain that wasn't in this thing that I also want to show you. This is it's a hollow rope chain, right? And this it's woven almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, they call it Viking knit, where you start out with like some wire and you pull it into the shape of like a daisy, right? With wide loops like 6 or 8 or 10, however many you want to go, and then you loop the wire back through the outside of the petals all the way around, and then you keep going all the way around, and it's messy and it's gross and it's ugly and you think you're doing it wrong, and you get to the end and then you pull it through a draw plate, and that pulls all of those lengths of mesh. It's almost like mesh even, and you end up with a tube. This is kind of thing, um, but on steroids, right? It's almost like and it's got to be a compound version of that thing where it's not just one, size linked to the other. It's got to be linked, two sides back, because it really overlaps a lot. But it's, really supple. It's a nice big wide loop, but it's also, like if you were to cut this open, it'd be hollow, right? So it's a kind of a hollow tube. This is available, SF1265 is the code. Available in 18, 20, 22, and 24-inch lengths. Um, and, if you need a great big statement chain, this is the one. And, okay, I'm not going to look at any more chains, because if I'm going to see something and say, oh, I got to show you this, I'm going to show you that, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let you go. I know that between this one and which is pretty good for me. I normally go over by a lot longer. But I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for coming or watching this Sylvia Findings Wednesday live stream. We're here every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and whatever your time is wherever you are. I know it's the middle of the day, but if you're doing this as a job, you need this information. And we're always here from you. You can always reach us either through Facebook or the website. We have a chat bot on the thing, which that's actually us. If you weren't aware, it's not. We don't have some messaging service manning the phones somewhere who's taking the thing. When you log on to the chat on the website, that's us. One of us, Marble or me or Nelson, hold of you, and we'll chat up. That's why we get a lot of those, which is great. I love being able to chat with people, um, which we don't get to do a lot anymore because there's no shows. So anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be here again next week. Sylvia Findings live. You know what? I haven't decided what we're going to do next week. Say what?
Caps, because
Caps.
Big caps.
Bead caps.
Because we have customer asking for big caps.
So apparently we have a customer asking for bead caps. So next week, the whole thing will be bead caps, which we've got tons of. Great ones, awesome ones. So join us for that. We'll see you next week. Stay safe, breathe well. Hopefully, wear a mask. We'll catch you around here next week soon, I hope. Take care and bye. We're done.